Well, the Robinson curriculum is a self-study curriculum, and it's based on Arthur Robinson. He's a scientist. He created this curriculum after his wife died and left him with a bunch of kids to homeschool, right? So he wanted to homeschool them, but he didn't have a lot of time to do it. He was also working as a scientist at the same time, but he'd work out of his house, I believe, and they lived on a farm. And so what he did was he designed, his wife was working on a homeschool curriculum at the time she died. So he took that on. He used what she started with, and then he designed this curriculum, which is based on just doing math, reading, writing, and math, right? So what they do is they have Saxon Math. You do your Saxon Math. So Saxon Math is a separate thing. You have to buy those books separately from the curriculum. But you do the Saxon Math, and John Saxon came out with this Saxon Math curriculum. It's the way it's done. It's a very gradual math curriculum. It's the kids don't have a lot of frustration with it, and so our daughter's been doing that since December, and she's halfway through the 7-6 Saxon Math. So she's halfway through. So you can do one of those Saxon Math books in about 6 months. So if you do 7-6, then you do 8-7, then you do Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and then you're into calculus. So if each one takes about 6 months, she's going to be into high school math. She's going to be 2 years ahead of where she would have been had she stayed in school. So that's what we liked about the Saxon Math, that you're going to be ahead of the game, and then the Robinson curriculum uses it. So then once you're done with your math for the day, you have a writing assignment to do every day. So you write about any topic you want, 1 page, but sometimes the kids are hard to find, like they can't think of ideas, or they don't want to write. So that's why we got the Fred Lybrand's writing course, right? So check that out. IndependentHomeschool.com, I think, is the site. I'll link it down below. And he's got a writing course. It's just a one-time purchase. It's a writing and essay writing course, and it tells the kids how to motivate themselves to write, how to go about getting started writing. And she did the whole. So for her writing thing, she did like one of these writing lessons a day until she finished it's about 30 or so lessons in the course, right? So once she finished the course, then she does the daily writing assignments. And since she did the course, she's found it a lot easier to write. She's been able to write more easily. So I definitely recommend doing that course. And then the next thing is, after that, the Robinson curriculum is based on a whole list of books, right? So it starts from early reading levels all the way down to college level mathematics and science books. So what you do is you just start from the top of the list, and so we started her almost at the top, but not quite at the top, because she's 12, right? So some of those books are way too low for her to read at this point, but we started her like fairly early on in the book list. So she's working her way down the list, and there's about 150 or so books. So she's working her way down that list, and then as you're doing each book, there's exercises, and there's vocabulary, and there's some tests that they can write to test their comprehension. And you just work your way down the books. You're learning words as you go along, so that you can, and they build upon each other. So the words that you learn in the earlier books are used in the later books. So eventually you're building that knowledge. And the books themselves are not all just fiction books. They're historical fiction is in there. They've got history books in there. They've got there's Josephine Pollard's books are about American history and also about the Bible. And so there's a lot of different books, different topics that these books cover. So I would definitely, that's what we liked about it as well. And you're getting a lot of the classics. And the books that were written, they're all public domain books, published over like 100 years ago or more. So the books that they were reading back then, compared to the books that kids of the same age read today, they're way ahead, they're way up, they're way above what they're reading today. The level of comprehension, because it's since 100 years, it's gone down quite a bit. Like the books are more dumbed down now, they're more simplistic. And back then, the kids were reading at a higher reading level. So these books, the Robinson curriculum books, are way better in terms of the quality of the writing and stuff like that. So that is basically the curriculum. And they recommend, in terms of science, that the real science, the Caltech science, which comes after the math, requires the math. So that's why we focus on the math, and then you do the science. That's what Robinson recommends, and he's a scientist, so he should know, right? So if you want to find more about the Robinson curriculum, there's a 1 hour. He did or was it a 2 hour video on YouTube where he describes the whole history of the curriculum. So go check that out. I'll give you a link to it probably at the end of this video. I'll put a box to direct you there. So yeah, that's why we chose the Robinson curriculum. It's a self-study. It's very flexible. You can add books to it. If you don't like some of the books, you can substitute books. They also give you a bunch of bonus stuff on the online. They have an online site. So the curriculum itself is 200 and something, 295 maybe US. I'm not sure if it was how much it was, but it comes with 2 years of online access. And in the online access, so what you get is a set of 22 CDs that you can put in your computer and print the books out from there, or you can download them in PDF form from their website, which is what we do. We don't even use the CDs. We download everything from the website, and they have bonuses too. So like the Book of Knowledge from the early 1900s is in there as a PDF, and they've got all these different science articles as well, and they've got so many different bonuses too. So definitely check that. We love it for that too. And since she's been doing the curriculum, we've also been doing the curriculum because we read through the same books in the order as they are in the curriculum, so we can see what it is that she's learning too. So it's good for adults too, just to follow along and read them, read them as well, because there's some pretty good stuff there. And I'm learning just as much as she is now, and I've read more books this year than I ever have ever. So it gets you reading for sure. So that's in a nutshell, that's what we think about the Robinson curriculum. We highly recommend it.